The November 12th regular board meeting. At this time, we'd ask you to stand for the moment of silence and pledge allegiance. Now the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, is everybody here for the approval of the minutes?
Yeah.
Item B1, adoption of the agenda. Is there any changes or is everything good? You may want to make a motion.
I'll make that motion to adopt the agenda for tonight.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of minutes for the October 22nd, 2024 regular meeting. You said everyone was here, right? Yes. They want to make that motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dorsey,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Clark County Public School recognitions. Ms. Christy Bush. Yeah, I know she's here somewhere. There she
Take her
goes.
minute.
Which is wonderful. Thank you this evening for having us to recognize some wonderful young men and women and adults. If Mr. Howard would please come.
Sure.
Clark County Public Schools is fortunate to have an outstanding partnership with Halls on the River. They are truly making a lasting impact on our district. This fall, Halls hosted our Superintendent's Advisory Council for lunch and listening to the ideas of students on how this partnership can come to life. Carl and his team have a wealth of knowledge and enthusiasm for our community and students that is unmatched. Specifically through Hall's highlights, they celebrated students and staff who embody the skills and disposition within our portrait of a Clark County learner by providing each recipient with a generous coupon to enjoy a meal at Hall's. Last month, we were able to recognize 16 staff members and 24 students as empowered leaders, our first competency explored by students and staff. Halls on the River is not only recognizing our dedicated teachers and staff, but it is investing in the future of Clark County, and we are truly grateful for their partnership and commitment to greatness. This evening, please help us in recognizing Miss Katie Midden and the owner of Halls, Mr. Carl Grace.
Sorry, appreciate you very much. Now we get to pose. Make sure to say go Cards. Go Cards.
Go Cards.
Oh, there it is. That's a delay, but it's very effective.
At this time, I would like to recognize Mr. Kent Kugel to come up with his.
Good evening. The Family Resource and Youth Services Centers of Clark County Schools would like to recognize the long-standing support of Emmanuel Episcopal Church. Emmanuel Episcopal has been dedicated to students, families, and the Clark County community for many years. Among the ways Emmanuel Episcopal has supported the community include delivery of weekend food bags to Central Elementary and Concord Middle, providing additional assistance, food assistance to families, offering back-to-school clothing, shoes and supplies to students, offering holiday assistance, monetary donations to assist students, and opening their doors to the community for Operation Happiness. Emmanuel Episcopal has always been a phone call away to assist our students and families. With us tonight from Emmanuel Episcopal are Gloria Branham, if you please come forward,
Oh, you front and center, here we go.
Henry Branham, Clay LaBresh, and Mary T. Geiser. They represent the finance and outreach committees from Emmanuel Episcopal Church. We also have among our Frisk community, let's see, Michelle Mitchell, Christy Carter, you all should say those. Ashton Madden, Casey Davis, Whitney Snell, and Dean Graham are all here with us. Did I get everybody? We would like to extend a heartfelt thank you for their generous donation to the Family Resource and Youth Service Centers. And if you would, please help us to recognize their generosity and contribution to our community. Thank you.
We're trying, Ms. Wright. I'm just in the picture, I'm just glad to be in the picture. Yeah, with you.
We're going to have Dana.
Absolutely.
Get right in here, Dina.
There we go.
Ready? Everybody ready?
Go Cardinals.
Thank you. Should know that. Campbell? Thank you. Preschool? Copyright.
Go
DRC. Justice? Will you see her?
Yes, I can make sure she
Shearer
Yes, thank you so much.
and Stroke Station.
you rise. I can make sure that they both get this.
Rosa, we have to get it.
Thank you so much.
We're delighted to do this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
We'll find something.
That's the most exciting thing in the world that could ever happen. I want this picture.
Every year, we host a Veterans Day Art Contest. We love to show off the outstanding talent of our students while we honor the men and women who sacrifice so much. This evening, we will recognize our students and the winner, and he does not know that he is the overall superintendent winner at this very moment, so we're excited to let him know. The frames will last all year hanging out in the hallway, and then the students will receive those at the end of the year when we have a new set that goes up. All right, Miss Emma B. Kraft is our preschool winner, and Miss Jill will represent her. Oh, she did.
Oh, yeah, we got her.
I'm sorry. I took her. There she is. I'm sorry, Miss Emma.
Here we go.
There we go.
You ready? I'm the Harry man.
Emma. There you go.
We got that. Oh. I don't know if I can get up. One hand
Ready? All right. Can you tilt that a little bit?
up. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Emma. Our Justice Elementary representative is Ms. Ani Lopez Rosa.
Ready? Good yours? All right, let's look up. Great job. Congratulations.
Our Shear representative is Miss Emma Claire Campbell.
He's coming. That's it. Poppy. Congratulations. Wonderful job.
Our Strode Station representative is Miss Charlotte Meadows.
You ready? Got Mom and Grandpa over here on this? Oh, we're gonna mess that up, man.
Baker Intermediate, we have Mr. Elijah Hacken.
Make sure I hold this the right way. There we go.
From our Phoenix Academy, we have Miss Joanna Morales Mendez.
Check this work out. Pretty good. We get it, Dad? Okay. Very cool.
For our RDC, we have Mr. Pablo Flores.
Pablo Flores? I said that.
This is gonna be yours. You very well. You fired up. I like it. All right.
Just one moment. You are our district superintendent winner.
All right.
Okay, well,
Oh, we'll get there.
okay. Yeah.
All right, we're figuring it out now. Thanks, sir. Congratulations. There you go.
Students from GRC placed in the following categories for the 2024 Kentucky State Fair competition. Our first category is meat judging. Students had to identify 50 cuts of meat from either beef, swine, or lamb cuts. They also had to judge 4 ribeye steaks based upon consumer desire. Students also had to give ribeye steaks a quality grade and a yield grade. For our first, all the FFA. This is a wonderful problem to have. We have so many to recognize. Mr. Ethan Tuttle, Heidi Castle,
Ethan and Heidi.
they were in order, I promise.
Hey, Brandon.
We'll have a transition. Thank you. There's 2 adults out there. Mr. Ethan Tuttle. Matthew Jones. Hagen Walters. And their advisor is Miss Kara Pitt.
Matthew, here, Matthew, okay, we'll get it.
I'll get it.
Perfect. Go on and picture, yep.
Here, Sarah, you get up there, I'm getting it out.
We judge ribeyes, that's all I heard. That's fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Is dairy judging. Students had to judge 6 classes of dairy cattle based upon desired characteristics. Students also had to give 2 sets of reasons on why they placed the cattle in the particular order that they did. We have Miss Kate Fisher, Miss Olivia Bretz, that was correct, Tyler Henson, Preston Blackburn, Lila Snell, Mackenzie Bush, Lucas Green, and Garrett Goldhon, and their advisor is Kyle Porter.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Some of y'all go to the back.
Order. We got three for you. Let's do it.
No, it doesn't matter.
Three people.
We are.
Well, we're just,
Well, actually, we're just.
Congratulations again.
our third state fair category is floral design. The students had to identify 25 various floral flowers, take a test on the general floral
Abby
design
Horn. I'm sorry.
knowledge, and had to create a floral design arrangement. We have Abby Horn, Autumn Hodge, Ethan Tuttle, Taylor Cavell, and advisor is Mr. Charles Knight.
You good? Horn, okay, all right.
Our fourth category is livestock judging. Students judge classes of breeding heifers, market steers, market swine, breeding sheep, market sheep, based on the desired characteristics of a given species. Students also gave reasons in the breeding heifer class as to why they placed them in the order that they did. Please, let's recognize Mr. Cody Hatton, Megan Robinson, Aiden Henson, Tate Gibson, Lillian Hall, Abby Horn,
Oh, you good, Pete?
Olivia Warner, Allison Ashwood, and Miss Tara Pig is their advisor.
Congratulations.
As long as I can see everything.
So we good? Last camera's up now.
Ready? Y'all know how to do it.
They're professionals. They've been winning everywhere, across the nation. Is that right, Mr. Pitt? 5-star for Chapter?
I only give 3, but if they name stars,
I gave you 5. I just gave you 5.
Our fifth category is seed identification. Students had to identify 50 seeds commonly used in agriculture. They also had to place seed tags based upon which would be the best to purchase for agriculture use. We have a winner for Ms. Kendall Costa.
Take a picture.
The 2024 Kentucky State High School Athletic Association State Golf Tournament was a multi-week event that took place in September, from the 30th to October the 12th. The first round was held at 3 different locations, and our young man was at Eagles Nest Country Club in Somerset. The boys' final was held in Bowling Green at the Country Club between the days of October 7th through 9th. This year, our very own Evan Taylor finished 11th in the overall state tournament.
Oh, you just make sure we get them pictures. Oh, a lot of them. So cars and straight, 4. That's exactly what you stay away from, right?
Thank you. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to contain yourself.
Okay, all right, we won't try it.
So are you ready for this?
All right.
Our very own, still national ranking JROTC Raider Challenge team, the 2024 Army Challenge Division Championship winners. That's amazing. On Friday, October the 24th at Fort Knox, they competed from 8 to 5 head-to-head against 50 other middle teams from New York to Arizona, all the way to Guam. Their stats were from first in gauntlet, first in 5K mountain race, first in physical team, second in cross country, and third in open rope bridge. Please help us congratulating Stuart Joint, Avery Hess, Thomas Lovings, Gunnar Hanson, Ryan Turley, Daniel Woods, James Scarborough, Danny Barr, Dean Sherry, Sean Stamper, Joseph Collins, Jeffrey Mahi, Louise Hall, Zachary Andreasen, and Peter Salvadori.
Tall people in the back? Yeah.
Yeah, especially tall people.
Dan Tuck! Is that right? Somebody? We good? National champs!
If you moved out, can you move down?
Cards! Go Cards! Thank you. Whoa, Matt Sergeant, Sergeant, where you gonna do?
They're gonna get one. They're gonna get one.
We're a team, baby, we're a team.
Master Sergeant Larry Lee
Can you do this?
and Lieutenant Colonel Tom. There you go, sir. And please do that again. I'm gonna have you work it back.
No, that's blackmail.
May I hand this to you?
I'm going up. Squeeze it. Y'all ready? Here we go. Awesome. Thank you.
If you don't mind, so you can get a picture.
Appreciate your all that. Appreciate
We are not finished yet.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, our females competed in a master's division, beginning with a battle fit test on Friday. On Saturday, they placed fourth in the gauntlet. On fifth, a 5K run? Because of the top 5 overall placements, they qualified to continue to the Ultimate Raider Buddy Team event on Sunday, which was a 3-mile obstacle course and a 25, is that mile swim?
Sure.
There you go. Completed by 2 of our very own.
We're live.
The Master's Division, which is mostly military school, military college preparatory academics, and on-post high school. We have 2 of the best. If you will please help me recognize Miss Rory Cooper and Jessica Kidd.
Oh, she didn't put Shucky Beans on there. That is her name, Shucky Beans.
All right, we go.
Congratulations.
This time, we're gonna call a 5-minute recess and let everybody kind of readjust and move around as where they need it, so. Y'all have anything you wanna go do for 5 minutes?
You know me.
All right.
Always ready.
All right. 7:03 PM with Miss Kelly Fitton up next. Oh, there was no public comments. Go ahead and note that. So people don't think I'm skipping.
All right, good evening. Tonight, our instructional spotlight will be highlighting RDC and our MTSS structures. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our principal, Ms. Tiffany Smith at RDC.
I've brought with me a couple members of the team. Tom Swart, assistant principal, and Calvin Schmid, band director / bar coordinator. So when we started thinking about our instructional spotlight, we thought, well, what do we want to spotlight? Do we want to spotlight academics? Do we want to spotlight behavior, social emotional well-being? And we couldn't decide. We were like, gosh, this is a hard choice. So we decided to go with a program that really encompasses all of those things for us. And that's the BAR program. I know you guys are familiar with it. We presented on it back in the spring. BAR stands for Building Assets, Reducing Risks. And we're in a journey with BAR. It's a 3-year program. We're in year 2. We've made a whole lot of improvements from our first year, and we're already talking about making further improvements for next year. So we're excited about it. It's something we really believe in. We love. It has had phenomenal results for our kids after implementing it, even after the first year. Just to kind of frame it for you, to date, we've intervened on at least 70 of our students, whether that be an academic intervention or an intervention related to social emotional wellness. 70 kids have benefited from this program individually. So I think that's something really special to highlight. So Mr. Schmid will kind of talk about that.
Okay. So I'm the coordinator, and so I work with the teachers to just make sure that we have our lessons straight. We look at all of look at our spreadsheets together. So the lessons, as you know, this is an MTSS structure support system. And so that means we have to service all students too. Those are tier 1. And those students, we give character development lessons called I-Times, and those cover like character development, social emotional learning. We do that once a week. Every student gets to do those, and the teachers rotate through those, so that way they're, depending on what floor they're in, it's going to be different every week. And then, like our tier 2 intervention, that's for the students that are beginning to need extra supports. Past that, we bring them into small block meetings, where each team of teachers will bring them up, and first thing we always discuss about the students is what is positive about them, what draws us to really care about this student. And then next, what connects the student to our school, like what is it that makes the student come here every day? And then if we cannot find anything for that box, we will find something for that box. So if we leave that meeting, we basically don't want to leave a meeting without a positive or something that connects our students to our school. So after those 2 things, we discuss their grades, behavior concerns, and then we assign them a level of what supports they need from like 0 to 3. And in a small block, it's usually going to be a 0 to 1. And that could, again, we're going to make, we assign the student a goal, and we assign a staff member that's going to check in on that student, make sure they're reaching that goal. And those goals, like Ms. Smith said, they can be anything. They can be grade level, they can be grades, behavior, attendance, social, emotional, any need that a student we feel needs, we're going to make sure that we can intervene and get that student the support they need. And yeah, that's pretty much what we do. We also track attendance data throughout the school year, grades, how many students are failing classes, and how many classes they are failing, with the hope that we can take all of those and reduce it, raise the attendance level, and reduce failure rate. So yeah, that's fine.
I would like to close by just talking about why we're passionate about BAR and why it has been something easy for us to embrace and implement. We're proud of all of the instructional and academic things and progress that we've made this year at RDC, and those things are great. The fantastic thing about BAR is that it contributes to us impacting academic areas of education, but it also impacts social emotional. It helps us deal with kids who are suffering from mental health issues. We have collaboratively and very hard worked on something that has existed in middle schools when we were in school, currently and probably will later, but bullying. And when we do these I times, they help us teach kids empathy. And if, I don't know if you agree with me, but I work with kids a lot on how to treat each other and how kids treat them. And I think if you're gonna get kids to be kind to each other and really combat bullying, then empathy is the key. And BAR allows us to do that as well. So this was something that was easy for me to embrace. Because of that, I think it's been easy for our staff to embrace, because it gives you results, it gives you a path forward, it gives you strategies, it allows you to work together. It doesn't feel like you are just throwing things at a wall and hoping that it sticks. So I'm really proud of this program, and there are several people like me at RDC, and I got into this business to help people, period. That is what I was always passionate about, working with kids. I have kids. I know there's tons of people out here in this crowd right now that have kids at our school or middle school age kids. It's a difficult age. There's no way around it. And I think this program has been and will be instrumental in helping us move forward and support kids, which is what we're looking to do.
And I know the pictures are really small, so you guys can't really see it, but I know you guys have the digital file. If you zoom in and you look at those pictures, these were taken from events that were part of the I Times, and almost all the kids are smiling. And the premise behind BAR is that we connect kids to each other and we connect them to their school. They want to come to school to learn. It becomes somewhere that they want to be, and it improves their quality of learning. So, like I said, it's a journey. I could go on all day about it. If you want to talk about it, please call me.
Oh, can I film it? So this one right here in the middle, that one's from this one called Crossing the River Jordan. And so the student actually is not able to see where the student can see, and they actually explain that his friends are supporting him and getting across that river. Super fun to watch.
So, we'd love to share more details, but we won't go on and on tonight. And all this connects with our big rocks. At the beginning of the year, we identified some things that we knew were true to us and who we are as a building that we want to always be intentional in focusing on. So we look at what we do through this lens. We chose continuous improvement, even if it's incremental, small incremental change for the better. That's the direction we're going in. Engagement. Engagement is a broad term, and it looks a little different. If we're talking about academics, it looks different if we're talking about social emotional wellness, and then character development as well. We're in the business of education. With that, we want to develop decent human beings in our building. And if we can get as many decent human beings as we can, and we can teach them how to be even better, it's going to become a place where kids want to be, and it's easy to learn. So that's our goal. Any questions?
When is the I time? Is it at different times or different periods, or how do you all determine the I times? Do you want to talk to that about?
Sure. So we do it by, we have like a rotation based on their core class, so science, social studies, and have ELA. And then the teacher just picks a day in the week that they do it. I've seen a lot of them happen usually like Wednesday or Friday. But we just have them tell us beforehand. It's not like a set time every week.
That's cool.
They do it every period. So, you know, if Wednesday is their day, they're going to spend, 30 minutes on their regular content and then 20 to 30 minutes on this I-time.
That's awesome.
So ultimately, every kid in our building gets an I-time once a week.
Right.
And it doesn't disrupt learning
Right.
for a long period of time for any content area. And it really gets our kids involved with each other.
I'd like to throw in, it also is interactive with the teachers. So it allows teachers it contributes to allowing teachers to form relationships with their students, meaningful relationships, establish trust. And I think that is a key to not only running a classroom, but to get kids to be engaged and to buy into what you're trying to do.
And this has been a topic of conversation at our anti-bullying task force meetings and the MTSS meetings. So the next time we have a coach who comes in and coaches us up, the next time he comes in and we have a whole lot of bar going on in one day, we'll make sure that you guys know about it so you can come and see it too. It's really something.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
I also want to give a shout out to RDCs. They had their Title I night. Was that just last week, or was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, I think.
Was it 2 weeks ago? That was fabulous. Our students, I was blown away. At first, I thought they were telling me about these colonies, and I'm like, Louisiana did not have a colony. Like in my mind, I was like, maybe they did, maybe I'm wrong. But they did such a good job explaining it to me. These are, I guess they were 8th grade students.
Yeah.
And I went through every table, and they all were wonderful, and they very proud of them. So you all, that was a great Title I night. And I'm sure there was I know there was an academic team thing going on. They were going to the classroom. So just really proud of what you all are doing with that age group. Because like you said, it's probably one of the hardest age groups to work with. So
We've got some really special people, so stay tuned to the spring.
Thank you all.
In addition to highlighting RDC, we would also like to talk about our MTSS structures across the district. So our MTSS specialist is Miss Allison Nelson. So she'll give us an overview and summary of that.
I brought some friends with me too. Good evening.
Hello, friends.
Allison Nelson, MTSS specialist for the district. I brought some of the ladies that I work with on a regular basis here as well. We have Miss Iona Jones and Miss Rebecca Smith. These are both two of our social work professionals that provide direct services to students within our district, which is one of the things I'm going to talk about. So I wanted to make sure that they were well represented. They've already indicated they're good to not speak. So. But I encourage them, if there's something you would like to add, please do so, because these are the boots on the ground doing the hard work for our students across our district. So I want to thank Mr. Schmieg for giving a nice overview of MTSS structures and what that means. So what I'm here to talk about tonight is really what that looks like district-wide, the vision that we have been curating and cultivating over the past few years. So a few years ago, our district really revamped our MTSS structures and procedures. We updated our new handbook, which the board has seen. It's a living document. It's constantly evolving to ensure that we are up to date with our best practices. I've included a graphic here from Kentucky Department of Education. So this is our KY MTSS graphic, which lays out all of those components of MTSS, which stands for multi-tiered systems of support. So it's really our layered interventions that we're providing to students to improve that academic, behavioral, and social emotional functioning. So there are a lot of different components that are touched on in here. Database decision making, collaborative problem solving teams, evidence-based interventions and supports, and then those family, school, and community partnerships. So I really just want to highlight a few things that our district level MTSS teams and our building level MTSS teams have worked on to help fulfill these components of our state standards. So you guys know last year we implemented universal social emotional screening for students kindergarten through 12th grade with parental consent. So we have that in place. We're continuing to do that. We do multiple screenings across the course of the year to continue to gather data on our students and ensure that we're meeting their needs. We also have diagnostic assessments and progress monitoring platforms that we use to ensure that the interventions we're providing to students are effective, and if they're not effective, we meet as our school-based and student-level teams to make adjustments as needed. So we have a few different layers of team. We do have our district team, which Ms. Smith had referenced. We also have our school-level teams and our student-level teams. One component that we really worked hard on last year at the MTSS level was really looking at our threat assessment structures and training protocols. So we have streamlined those, which has been really helpful, I think, to help identify students who may be in crisis and connecting them with appropriate supports either inside or outside of the school system. I do have a graphic here that outlays, we've done a lot of work around our social emotional interventions. So I have a graphic that displays what does Tier 1 look like for social emotional learning, Tier 2 and Tier 3. So this is just an example of some of the structures and components that we're utilizing to ensure that we know what services are out there for students and we know how to access those and who's responsible for providing those. And then I wanted to highlight specifically our MTSS Interventionist program. So we were very fortunate to be able to expand our program. This is formerly known as the SAS program, the Student Advocacy Specialist program. We previously had 2. This year we have 5. Which is a major blessing. I'm very, very grateful for that. So we do have MTSS interventionists in all of our buildings that provide that social, emotional, behavioral, and mental health supports for students. So I have indicated here the services they provide. So they run individual counseling, they have group counseling, community outreach. You will see them at open houses, you will see them at Title I nights, you will see them at community events, advocating, representing for our school district and letting parents and community members know that they're available for support. They assist heavily with our crisis intervention, address attendance barriers as those arise, because we know oftentimes there are comorbid concerns that come with attendance barriers as well. So they work on a variety of different skill sets. So they are teaching skills to students, and they are helping those students generalize those skills into their classrooms so they can be successful academically, socially, and behaviorally. Anything you guys want to add? I will say with the addition of the 3 interventionists this year, we have exponentially increased the number of students that we have touched in our school buildings.
Like, it's significantly higher, and it's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's
So
amazing,
wonderful.
yeah. So I just really want to praise these ladies for all the hard work that they do. Again, boots on the ground, doing the hard work, and we have those foundational structures to help support that work.
I truly believe how awesome they are. I've worked with Ms. Jones, right? We have had some interactions in my day job, and she's excellent. And it's just great to have that level of intervention, people being able to assess and help. And I've loved this ever since we've introduced it. So I get so excited I can't even talk.
Yeah, I know, me too. And I'm kind of like Tiffany was saying, like, I've got so many more notes that I have typed up here on my phone, but I don't want to like spend too much time. So if anybody wants to talk about the things, feel free to reach out to myself or any of our interventionists. Again, we have them across elementaries through high school, so they're readily available. We've streamlined our referral system, and I feel like we have a really good collaborative team where we can bounce ideas and problem solve, and make sure that if we need to pivot or do something different or reach out for other resources, we're able to do that together. So it's nice. Yeah.
What's our biggest funding source to pay for this?
Stronger Connections grant.
It's a grant.
Yes,
Pay for all of it.
yes, it is, yes.
Program is grant.
Yes, it is a grant-funded program.
I just
through
wanna point that
Stronger.
out.
Yes, yeah, it's very valid. So, yes, very thankful to have gotten that grant award, and we're continuing to look for additional opportunities to expand that funding so we can expand the program.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
So the grant also is what funds our bar program.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Consider approval to change mileage rate and update the 2024-2025 Transportation Procedure Manual. Mr. Snail.
Yeah, 2 proposed changes to the transportation manual. One, page 8, item number 20, I'd like to change it to kind of mimic the language of the Pupil Transportation Management Manual that KDE puts out concerning safe speed. The other one is kind of more significant for schools. It's changing the rate for academic travel from $3 a mile down to 50 cents a mile for academic travel only. Travel within the county, within the city, would be free for schools. The biggest issue for schools, you have Stroh going to RDC for a play. Last year, that probably cost them $700 to take buses from Stroh to RDC.
It costs 2. The school? So the school, so Strode was going to pay $300 to take them over to REC.
Yes. Driver pay, mileage, all that combined, the number of buses they took, they would take, 7 or 8 buses. It was a significant cost. This will allow schools to take that money and spend it on their kids instead of on transportation.
So it's coming out of Strode State, like, for example, Strode Station's budget in order to take them to RDC?
Yes.
Okay.
Any travel that they had previously, it didn't matter whether it was academic travel, whether it was a reward trip, everything came out of the school's budget. This would change that to where if they're in town, it would be comped. If they're out of town, we're 50 cents a mile for anything academic. Non-academic would remain $3 a mile.
So what does this do with the driver pay? Because don't the schools usually pay that?
They pay whatever the driver pay is.
So now the district will pay that.
The district will?
Yeah, that's,
So we're shifting the cost so
It
that
won't be that,
the burden is not on schools and they can send their money to directly support our kids.
yeah.
That's the change.
but it will not affect the drivers or anybody?
No, it doesn't.
Everything's gonna stay the same for them, this is
Correct.
just?
Yeah.
Okay.
The drivers won't notice any change.
Correct.
Okay. Anybody have any more questions?
No, I mean, I think it sounds like a really good idea. We're encouraging them to do, take those academic trips because, and it won't present such a burden on schools as far as their budget.
Would anybody like to make a motion? Do you need two separate motions or can we do this in one? Do it in one?
I think it's all one, one's just explaining it, right? Just one.
Which one item?
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the change mileage rate and update the 2024-2025 transportation procedures meeting.
Motion by Ms. Hawk. Second. Second by Ms. Simpkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Snell.
Mr. Snell. All right. New Clark County Preschool Project Construction Update. Mr. Codell and
Mr. Christie was unavailable to be with us tonight, but we've got Codell Construction here, and Mr. Codell's going to give us an update on the preschool.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Real quick update on what's been taking place and what's yet to come. Primarily down to the interior finish work inside the building on the interior at this time. Last of the drywall, finished coat of paint, floor coverings, ceramic tiles been completed, toilet fixtures. I think some of you make a trip out to the building last week, saw kind of where we stand. Casework's going in, so quite a bit of work left to do, but we're getting there. February 18th, I believe, is the target date, and contractors are on board for that. So really just push through to the end at this point. Sod is scheduled for Thursday of this week if it doesn't get rained out, so that's a big ticket item with the paving to follow, surface course of paving. Kind of really just staying on top of the contractors. We're meeting every 2 weeks now instead of every month, try to push this thing to the end. So, that's kind of what we're saying.
anything, any questions from Mr. Codell?
Can you elaborate a little bit about the weather day so that we can understand it? Because that, we talked a little bit at the last board meeting. I just want to get a full understanding of why it's been pushed back so much.
So these contracts are written on a day-for-a-day basis. Every day they lose, just tacked on at the end of the schedule. So if they lose 3 days in a week, they just get 3 at the end. So over the life of this job, it's about 80 days that have been lost. So that's 20 work days a month. That's 4 months worth of work. Original completion date was about November the 1st. So when you add that to the tail end of the schedule, it pushes it out to the middle of February.
Right, I understand that. What I'm asking is why did we have 80 days? Like how did that come to be?
That's just rain and or snow, whatever the case may be. So if they lose more than half of that work day to rain, then they're contractually obligated to receive an additional day at the end.
It just seems like we didn't have, when you look at the past 2 years, it doesn't feel like we would have that many days. And I think that I'm speaking for myself, was taken aback by the amount of days. We had just not really been updated about that.
True.
And
usually it's about 60 days over the course of the year.
I've been in my past in another job, I did do, it wasn't the same type of thing, but I think that, I think we're all good. I've talked to some of the staff about, and everybody's okay. It's just, I think that in July, I thought everything was on target. And then, last month we find out that we're not on target. And I think that what happened we didn't lose that many days between July and October.
No.
So.
I can get you a log of the days per month. We
I
track
think,
that month to month.
Mr. Watkins did that for us.
I think it was just the fact that it just kind of dropped. We just
popped up on us, yeah, all at the
Yeah.
same time. We didn't know that those had already accumulated that much.
I followed,
up
okay.
until that
I got you.
Yeah.
And that's on me. I should have done a better job communicating that to the board, so I apologize for that.
I had another question. I know we've talked about this, maybe getting off subject, but, and I know we've got the sodding and stuff on here for the change orders, but what, did you guys, figure anything out about the storm shelter openings or anything? As far as like what's gonna happen with the,
At the last construction meeting, Rising Sun had said that they had gotten some new hinges that were coming in, that they were gonna try on those doors to
just to see if it would secure them
see
better?
if they would, if that would work better than the current setup. So they're working on solving that problem.
And there are holdovers to go on the backside of those doors to hold them back against the wall. But I do know exactly what you're talking about.
Coverings on the windows, is that what?
Yeah, so, and that's something we're gonna do a little more investigating on to see if that is a acceptable fix. Because you're right, that is, I don't wanna call it a hazard, but a potential.
It was, yeah, and I know we had discussed the RSO, the change order and all the stuff, the wiring and all the electrical stuff that was gonna be going into that, so I mean, I was kind of aware of everything else, I wasn't sure if we ever found if there was gonna be a solution for that, or if something was going to, but if we have brackets or, like something that secures it into place, that would definitely be awesome.
Yeah, I'm still a little worried that when the
It's
hinges,
just gonna-
like, there's a lot of stress
A
on
lot of
those
stress.
hinges when they hold them. But Donnie had said they had some different hinges.
Got some different hinges coming.
Or even if we have to, produce something that goes under them, to help secure that to where it doesn't put too much stress on the hinges or something. I just wanted there to be some type of plan for that, so we didn't let Jill have to deal with it once they,
Oh, absolutely.
got the building.
I think you're referring to that electrical change order, is that what you're?
Yeah.
So we do have two change orders, to present tonight. The first one's 17-2 to Fade Electric, and that is for some additional power and data drops in a few rooms, as well as a second, push-button lockdown in the SRO office.
Yeah.
The second one is, as you said, Frederick and May, that is for the seeding, hydro seeding, the landscaping, and the sodding that's scheduled to take place.
So how far, what's the possibility, I know we are expecting rain possibly Thursday and Friday, so how far would they get pushed out if they can't get it in by, Thursday?
At worst, Monday. I really feel they're gonna work through it, to get it down, because it's imperative to get that down before a big rain, we could have a washout, and then we have a mess, so they're well aware of it, they're gonna try to get it down.
Yeah, it's that time of year, definitely.
For sure.
Crazy.
I will say it looks beautiful from the outside. I haven't been in there for a minute, but it does look great. And I know they're working hard to get it done.
They're doing another round of washing the brick, the exterior brick. We really weren't happy with that, how clean that turned out, so they're washing it again.
Yeah.
Roof work's getting wrapped up, downspouts and gutters, so it's buttoning up.
And I believe they said that the windows are in the front now, like the,
Yes.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So are we able to lock it up now? That was a concern they had last.
We're gonna put some temporary construction cores in so they can be secured, so nobody can get into the building.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
that's
the other thing, what about the locks, having to move them or transport them from the other preschool location to this one?
We've got a plan to work that out. Yep. The mid-month construction meeting is Thursday this week,
That's right.
so 14th.
Then our regular scheduled meeting's actually on Thanksgiving, so we'll have to move that to a different day.
So if there's any notes from that, I'll pass those along to the board from Thursday's meeting. A note on the landscaping too, the original landscaping package was around $150,000. We trimmed some things out of that to kind of get it down and provide a little cost savings on the package that's going in with the seating and sodding and all that good stuff, so.
We do expect to have that bus canopy in hand a little earlier than we thought. They have been telling us, first of the year, but now we're confident we're gonna get hold of that probably first of December, so maybe have that.
awesome. Awesome, thank you so much for coming in.
And Mr. Watkins and I were over there today, and there are folks working diligently to try to meet our deadlines, and actually we had special guests, LEX 18 showed up, so maybe a story on 18, and then we'll have an influx of people moving in, so we'll probably have to build a ton more houses, and enrollment will jump up 9,000, and we'll have to deal with that at some point, but truly, she was so blown away with what our kids are gonna have. As a reporter, unbiased, went on and on and on, and you may hear that slow talking Lee County man on the news station as he led the tour. So I'm just throwing that out there.
The real rock star, Miss Blanton, she will be having an interview tonight, LEX 18, 11 o'clock. Tune in.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Godell.
Thank you all. So consider approval of CO 17-2 for the Clark County new preschool project in the amount of $20,907.02.
That's just what we discussed. There's three things there: the SRO office, power and data drops for a couple of resource rooms, and moving some cameras due to adding the bus canopy that needed to be relocated. So there was three different things there in that change order to Fayette Electric.
Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item number 4. Consider approval for change order 1-3. I said see how long ago, Lord have mercy. In the amount of $126,500 for the additional cost to provide all seating, sodding, and landscaping. Any questions, comments, or motions?
Yeah, I'll make the motion for the approval of 1-3, for the additional cost to provide all the seating, sodding, and landscaping for $126,000.
All right, motion by Mr. Dorsey,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We'll call a 5-minute break so Mr. Howard can check in on something real quick for me. And we'll be right back.
Thank you.
at 7:47 PM.
Hold on, say it again.
We're back in session at 7:47 PM.
Thank you.
All right, consider approval to amend the 2025-2026 school calendar. Poor Mr. Kane's been waiting patiently.
Oh, yeah. Good evening. This is some minor changes to the already approved 25-26 calendar. This year, when we had the opening day on that Friday, we got a lot of good feedback from the staff. So we wanted to bring this back up to move, just a minor change, move the opening day from Monday, the 11th, to Friday, the 8th. And then that would also push your PD days 4 days earlier, a couple of teacher work days. The difference is for students, they would start 1 day earlier on the 13th, but then they would also come back 1 day later from holiday break. That would be a teacher work day on January 5th. And then for teachers, they would also start 1 day earlier, but then we moved the teacher work day from May the 19th, the election day, to January the 5th. And then made the 19th of May an X day, just off. So the instructional day stayed the same at 172, and just a couple minor changes.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Kane? All right, anybody like, you need a motion for that? Oh, yeah, you need a motion.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to consider approval to amend the 2025-2026 school calendar.
Motion by Mr. Bennett, second by Mr. Who else second? Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Miss Ellis, and I've done called out, so you get to just go.
Hey, okay. So, short and sweet tonight. I have nothing extra on the agenda. It's just mainly the monthly presentation. So we are 4% ahead in revenues compared to this time last year. That is mainly as a result of our interest. We are still making a really good interest rate on our funds to invest in our kids. So that is the bulk of that increase there. Expenditures are up 1%, which is right within normal. Our taxes, you can see from this month for October, we still had not received our property taxes yet, but we have got the check in November. Woohoo! We're at 73% with that collection. We've got, so that's way ahead of this time last year, so that's fantastic news. And then we actually just got motor vehicle today, which is not reflected in this, so we're actually at 30% with our motor vehicle. So that is, again, fantastic news. We are on track to collect what we have budgeted. And again, we are very conservative in our budgeting in those aspects. So any questions with revenues and expenditures?
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Authorize payment of salaries and accounts payable.
Please pay your bills.
I make a motion to authorize payment of salaries and accounts payable.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, consider approval of policy 09.422, first reading. Ms. Dr. Parrish.
Yes,
Ms.
thank you.
Dr. Parrish.
Last month, Dr. Held brought before all of us our KSA data. And within that data was a survey for students to complete on climate and culture. The survey revealed to us that we needed to do some work on some bullying processes and procedures. So before you tonight is a very streamlined and simplified 09.422 revision. Our past policy was 7 pages long, so in a collaboration with our policy review committee and the bullying task force, we have condensed and simplified our policy down to 3 pages. So in front of you is that new policy, and what I'm going to talk to you about afterwards, if you will approve this first reading, are some new procedures that we'd like to put in place to go along with our new policy. And according to our representative at KSBA, we will be the first district in the state of Kentucky to have this streamlined process laid out and so neatly defined for students, staff, community members, and parents.
Any questions for Dr. Parrish? Not, anybody like to make a motion?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say that the task force is made up of administration and representatives of each school, and they all had great feedback, and there was also almost relief in their faces when they saw this new policy, because it went down, it was such a huge difference. So they're doing really good work there. So if no one has any questions, I'll make a motion to consider first reading of policy 09.422.
Motion by Ms. Hall.
No, second.
Second by Ms. Simpkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
And thank you to Ms. Hall too, who also does work on that committee with us as well. So thank you to you as well.
Appreciate that.
So 09.422 AP1 is a new procedure that we would like to put in place here, and it very clearly defines all of the reporting procedures for bullying or hazing. So number one is the new reporting form that I'm going to unveil in just a few minutes after this. So number one would be a streamlined fillable form for students, parents, staff, community members to fill out and complete and get to their building administrator or designee. Number two is the safety tip line that we already have on our website, but we've kind of made that reporting a little easier too. We've always had the stop sign out there, but now we've also included the 1-800 number, which directly gets them into contact with somebody right here in the district, so we can put some more intervention measures in place more efficiently. And number three is the online reporting. So it is the actual stop sign. So this is an online report that students or those alike can make anonymously or share as much information as they'd like. So really, AP1 just outlines these are the steps in which bullying or hazing can be reported. It's always kind of been mixed in with our harassment and discrimination policies and procedures, and I think that that's been confusing to a lot of people, including staff. So now we're separating the two, and we are defining exactly what we're saying we're going to do to combat bullying here in Clark County. So that's just an acknowledgement of this new bullying reporting procedures.
Fantastic. All right. And then, so a knowledge procedure, is that 09.422 AP.2?
Yes.
Bullying
So-
and hazing?
So number two, I think they're going to pull it up for us in just a second. This is going to be the new reporting form that we're going to ask everyone to complete. So, and we're going to do a better job too at coaching our administration and our teachers and what is exactly bullying, and our students, because sometimes we think tattletelling is bullying, or we think someone said something inappropriate or something that was unacceptable is bullying. So we are going to do a much better job investigating and educating. So this new reporting form, KSBA actually created this for Clark County. So this is a vacant procedure that sits out there for districts that want to try something new. So this is what Clark County has decided to do with this vacant policy. So the bullying hazing reporting form will be used for these types of incidences, and it will also give us as an administrative team and as an academic team to really look at the data for tracking, reporting, and continuing to make data-driven decisions.
Any questions for Dr. Parrish?
There was lots of good conversation in our task force meeting from the administrators and giving you feedback and how they can make it a little more condensed so they don't have to do a huge thing. But it's also evidence-based, which is very important. So there's a lot of evidence-based pieces, especially bullying, the definition of bullying and that sort of thing. So it's really great stuff. And you attended some type of safety meeting?
Investigations training.
That's right, investigations training. So that was that just last week?
So the investigations form will be an internal form, and I think that that's the one you're referring to.
Okay, but
Yes.
this one still has the bullying definition in it though, doesn't it?
Yes, so this is the reporting form.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the bullying definition, because there's 3 components to bullying that you have to have in order for it to be bullying, so. Okay, I'm done. I'm excited, I think we've done, our district has done such good things with bullying. It started in June, July, and we have not let it, we've kept it rolling. And I think it's something that's very important, not bullying, cyberbullying, that sort of thing. Hazing's more of a college level type thing, I think, but this happens, and when we hear it a lot, we hear, and our staff administration is taking it seriously, so.
Does anybody else have any questions for Dr. Parrish? Thank you.
Thank you all.
Consider approval of new and current board members and superintendents to attend the KSBA Winter Symposium on December 6th to the 7th in Louisville, Kentucky. Any questions on that, or would anybody like to make a motion?
Just want to make a statement that for the newly elected board members, they actually will get credit for attending. That's the way they do like an academy for new
They
board
know.
members. Oh, well, I want people,
Oh, okay.
I want the people, everybody to know why they would be going. So, yeah,
And they count for next year.
for next year.
When you're
Yes.
new, okay.
Yep. So it kind of gives them a head start to know
Gotcha.
the rules and so forth.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, would anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve our attendance, the new and current board members and superintendent.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Superintendent's report, Mr. Howard.
Sure, this is gonna be fairly brief this evening because we just met a couple weeks ago. But a couple things coming up again, Mr. Watkins and I visited not only the preschool, but the Cardinal Innovation Center. So I wanted to update the board, we're still on track for that. They are making some adjustments with the mechanical system and switching over the power elements. We're also working with the high school to look at future planning for that building. We still have 2 very large bays that we're going to be exploring, extending our career pathways. But we want to align not only student interest in what kids think they want to do, but with the need of our society, the need of our community. So we're planning to put together a survey. We'll be sending that out to our business partners, to the Industrial Authority, IDA, other local business industry organizations, so we can get some feedback. Where is the need? Doing a general study on future employment with particularly trades and skills. We don't want to overcommit on more welding program or electric or HVAC or plumbing if that's not where the need is, nor is that what the interest is of our student body. So that will be coming out to the public probably in the next few weeks. And we want input because we want to have our students graduate not only college and career ready, but workforce ready to be able to, if they're not going to college, go make a great living as a certified tradesman. So that is coming down the road, so you may see that, especially new board members. We've got a couple out there starting next year, because once we get that information, we'll start planning for materials, programming, curriculum, building into the budget for instructors, things like that. So just kind of want to update you on that progress. The other thing we're super excited about, continuing with our theme to connect. We connected with our kids when we got them back in the building. We try to do that every day. Again, you saw some of the intentionality with BAR that we talked about tonight. But we also need to continue to connect with our own staff, and our own staff need to connect with each other. Because sometimes the lift is heavy, and if we're only interacting and engaging during the hours of 7:30 and 5, we don't build the relationships we need to support each other. So we're hosting a staff connection event at GRC. We're gonna have dinner. I feel like when you eat with people and you fellowship with people, you build strong relationships. We're gonna have some entertainment, and then, almost as exciting, we're gonna pair that up with Meet the Cards night in the arena at 7:30 that night to really meet kind of our winter sports as they come along. So Coach Cook, Coach Graham, cheer, band, dance. It'll be an extravaganza. Quote me on that. You say extravaganza. There was supposed to be sparkles coming somewhere, but I missed out on that part. So those are a couple things coming up. Again, as we get into our holiday season, we've got a lot of community partners communicating or partnering with Operation Happiness, some other things. We're going to be working with the Salvation Army and doing some bell ringing as the staff. I sent that to principals today. again, continuing to not only connect in the building, but outside, and teaching our kids through modeling the way on what it means to be a servant leader. Had a great event, I don't want to ramble, but had a great event with the Kiwanis Club on Saturday. They really knew where to put me on the serving line. I was a serving line, I was a sausage gravy man. It was perfect. So if they wanted with sausage and gravy, I was their guy. I mean, I had gravy everywhere. It was a glorious morning. But even better, we've got a, again, community partnership with Kiwanis Club that did all that to help kids. And they're gonna take all that funding for their initiatives to support our kids. And I bring that up as one of many, so community partners not choosing to do. We wanna work with everybody. So again, reach out, be a part of what we're doing, support our kids and provide a world-class education, so. Go-karts.
All right. We are at consent agenda items 1 through 22. Anybody like to make a motion or have anything we need to question on it?
I don't have any questions. I'll make the motion unless somebody has questions.
All right, motion by Mr. Bennett,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries 5-0. I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are adjourned at 8:04 p.m.
One more.